Hey, what is going on, YouTube? Aaron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. We have some massive news for you guys, though, straight from the World of Warships Legends official Discord server. That's right, guys. The Big E, the USS Enterprise, is coming to Legends. It just made too much sense, right? I said this on stream the other night with the carrier rework just occurring and the 4th of July update looming on the horizon. Wargaming would be silly not to put this in the game. She was such an iconic ship, but yeah, let's go over a few things. Again, we know she's coming. In what format, though, we have no idea whether it's going to be the campaign, for Steel, for Global. If I had to guess, probably some event type similar to the Ohio or others, but again, we're not sure. I hope it's the campaign. Maybe I don't hope it's the campaign, but anyway, we're going to go over this. Just a quick little announcement here. Shout out to everyone who tagged me, right away that this was coming. Make sure you guys hop in my Discord. I will link both the Legends official Discord as well as my server. But we're going to look at a few things. I actually did not know this, but the USS Enterprise on PC has AP bombs. She also has rocket planes. And this would honestly be a decent introduction for rocket planes into the game. We just kind of had a discussion in the CC Discord about trying to hit destroyers, and now with the carrier rework being a little more damage oriented, it would be nice to have rocket planes to deal with destroyers. Guys, I say that as someone who is trying to be objective, right? I don't like carriers. I know that they were a part of World War II, and I hate when people are like, well, it's just a part of the tactics. Well, you know what was also a part of World War II? Atomic bombs, okay? Can I just drop one of those on a surface fleet? I'm sure Wargaming would love to charge $800 per use, right? So, yes, carriers were in World War II. However, in order to make a video game balanced, you cannot have something that was just obnoxiously broken. Now, I think after the rework, I think they are a lot more balanced. I have not been, overly abused by a specific carrier after the rework. However, my opinion being is what it is. I don't want them in the game, period. But anyway, getting back to the point of this, now would be a great time to introduce rocket planes to help deal with destroyers. But let's go ahead and look at a few of the stats here. The attack aircraft, which are kind of the those rocket type planes, which are really good for dealing with destroyers. On the Enterprise, they are a little bit weaker than the Lexingtons. Now, I went to review the stats from the Lexington from the World of Warships Legends wiki, but they actually didn't have her on here. So I will link both of these so you guys can compare and contrast. However, a lot of this is summarized down below. So we're just going to skip this for now. You guys can read it if you want. But basically, the Enterprise has weaker attack aircraft or rocket planes. And yeah, anyway, the Enterprise's torpedo bombers follow much of the same trend of other American torpedo bombers. Slow but with decent HP pools, the torpedoes themselves have average damage paired with relatively low arming distance and speed. The torpedoes themselves are identical to Lexington, but the planes utilized are the Lexington's stock torpedo aircraft, so the weaker of the two, meaning that they are inferior in terms of speed and HP pools. However, much like the rest of the Enterprise's squadrons, they have an improved regeneration rate of 60. So on Legends, yeah. Also to note, I think, do they talk about it here? The Enterprise has more attack aircraft per squadron, but I think they go over that in the pros and cons, which we will talk about. So finishing up here, while weaker, they are still good and reliable source of damage, and when other squadron types are unavailable, spelling mistake, idiots. No, I'm just kidding. As they still drop the same number of torpedoes as Lexington, their main target should be battleships and cruisers, with most of players focusing on that particular target. Dive bombers. While other American aircraft utilize high explosive bombs for their dive bomber squadrons, Enterprise has the unique distinction of being one of the only American carriers, Hornet being the other, to have AP dive bombers. That's going to be fun. That's going to be interesting. We'll try to recreate Midway maybe once again in training rooms. While their individual damage is rather low as far as AP bombs go, 4,900 compared to 6,200 on Shokaku and oh no, what did I do? Compared to, oh, come on, I clicked the other window. Compared to 6,200 on Shokaku and 7,800 on Parseval, her squadrons drop 6 bombs per drop, constituting the highest number of AP bombs. So what is 6 times, I don't know, somebody do the math there. That could be a disgusting drop there. So constituting the highest number of AP bombs per drop and the highest AP bomb alpha per strike in the game, beating even the Tier 10 German aircraft carrier Richthofen. Their high alpha damage makes them outright deadly against cruisers as well as Russian and German battleships. They have more exposed citadels from the deck, however, they have relatively low penetration compared to AP bombs, the same tier. Okay. Patrol fighters, Enterprise gains a unique patrol fighter consumable. And again, guys, this is all speculation, as you guys know with these videos. It truly irks me when I try to do these videos and just get information out to you guys. I am using the PC Wiki webpage as a general guide for judging because it's the same game. However, there have been drastic differences between certain ships. However, some ships have come out exactly the same. So again, this is all speculation. So for the super testers who already know what this is, don't comment and lose your super test as that other silly goose did. But on average, you can expect very similar traits or perks from, ported over from PC essentially. So on PC, the Enterprise gains a unique patrol fighter, which has a little bit I think it has more fighters and a longer range. I wish the fighters were a little bit more viable. They do help to a certain extent if you can get, unless you're kind of dropped right into a situation, you can easily avoid fighters. But regardless, I think that's something else they could work on with carriers. Anyway, let's go over the pros and cons here. Very quick attack aircraft and torpedo bomber restoration time, good health for all planes. Patrol fighter, as we just mentioned, deploys numbers with range higher than all their Tier 8 aircraft carriers. Attack aircraft deploy in very large squadrons. I think that's, when you think of attack aircraft, I think that's the rocket planes. So that's, I think that's these. A single squadron can drop as many as 4 times in a row. I don't think they'll get that off, maybe against destroyers, but with the way our AA works, I don't think you're going to ever be able to do that. Even if these attack planes are in the game, I don't think they will be. They could be, though, and I think this would probably be a good, I'm sure, if I'm actually thinking in it from a marketing standpoint, it would behoove Wargaming to add them in because people would just buy it more, but I don't want to give them any ideas. Dive bombers drop 6 bombs per attack run. Bombers drop 3 torpedoes per attack run. Powerful short and mid-range AA suites, which you truthfully want the long range, but anyway, good ship speed and rudder shift time. Also, just so you guys are aware, she actually does have a little bit worse, HP compared to Lexington. Not that that's really a factor up until the end of the game. However, it's just something to keep in mind. Cons. Dive bombers use AP bombs, not as versatile as HE bombs used by other American aircraft carriers. Individually, AP bombs have very low damage and penetration. Attack aircraft squadrons having large hitbox, vulnerable to AA flak bursts. See, sometimes things like this, that's not really a con, right? Because now with the way that carriers work, you don't even have to worry about that with our restoration rates. But anyway, attack aircraft can only penetrate, and that's, again, those rocket planes, 27 millimeters of armor, precluding their usefulness against battleships of the same or higher tier. So you could still hit superstructures in theory, but after you saturate that, you'd just be doing potential fire damage and maybe hitting the bow and stern. 27 even most, probably just superstructure. But torpedo bombers and dive bombers have poor speed, fragile ship hull with fairly bad conceal. Oh, for the ship, not the planes. Long range AA suite is quite poor. So like we talked about, you honestly want the long range AA. But anyway, so that is the USS Enterprise. Again, I will link all of this down below. I will link my Discords as Randy becomes a giant clown in my server. Randy's a good guy. And also, happy birthday, Watson. It was yesterday. Make sure nobody tags Watson. Happy B-Day, old man, yesterday. But anyway, I will link all of those down below. Let me know in the comments. Are you guys excited for Legends? Or for Legends, are you guys excited for the Enterprise? I am for the historical value and fact, not necessarily for the carrier fact. Again, people are like, we'll just deal with it. You know, there were strong carriers back in the day. And it's like, we shouldn't be adjusting a class which only takes up like 12% of the total team's value, you know, to completely dominate. That's just not good for video game balance. However, I do have to hand it to Wargaming. I think the rework is beneficial in promoting carriers while also, you know, they dialed it back from how strong it was. Again, I don't want them in the game at all. I think having the rock, paper, scissors of destroyer, cruiser, and battleship is much better. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. You guys have a fantastic weekend. I love you guys. I'm out. Peace.